everybody. It's Stephen and Walter in Oz for our next exciting rundown of what we did today. Well, today was an interesting day in several different ways, and we have lots of footage to back it all up as well. But before you see the footage, you're going to have to listen to us. Too bad for you. Okay, what did we do? Where did we start from? Where did we come from?
We came from the Gold Coast.
That's right. We came from the Gold Coast this morning. We had brekkie in our room. No, it was not room service. Well, for Walter, it was room service. I made his coffee. I made his toast. And, you know, he did spread his own peanut butter. I have to draw a line somewhere, really. Yeah, we had that. And then we got in the car. And then we had to figure out how to get to the car. Because I was told that I was wrong. I didn't know where the car was. He did. Guess what? He did not.
No, but first it was the level. It was P1 or P2. And I knew it was P2, but I thought I'd let Steve decide where it was. Because last time I got
P2.
told. Last time I said it was P2.
Wait, you said it was P1. I said it was P2.
Yeah, and then I was told, we went where I thought it was. And then he said, no, it's P2. And so we went there later and he blamed me for it. So I thought, okay, he knows where it is. I'll let him decide.
It's not the way I remember this situation at all. I think there's been some embellishments and change and outright lies on that one. But anyways, we found the car and we got in it. Then comes the big dilemma. Yeah, usually the only time I end up yelling at him is when he's parking or getting the car out of a parking spot or getting out of a parking garage.
Well, I don't know. I just find I haven't been having too much problem driving on the left, but getting the car parked and which way the wheels go from that perspective where you're sitting on the right-hand side of the car is really difficult for some reason.
Yeah, I can see that, except I'm standing by the car, in front of the car, and I'm going, straighten it. What I mean is put your wheels straight. Not off to the side slightly.
But it feels crooked when I'm inside the car.
Trust
and I
me.
don't trust.
Well, see, there's the problem. I can see what you're doing. I mean, I'm just standing there going, well, whatever. Anyways, we got it out of the parking spot. We got it to the doors of the garage to get out. Okay, could these people in hotels and underground parking garages in general, could they not make it more clear? I mean, first of all, there's two boxes. And there's writing. It's like a major essay you have to read to figure out which box you're supposed to use and how to use it with the ticket. And of course, Walter never gets it close enough to do any of this out of the window. So he's hanging halfway out of the car, windows down, doors open. He's pounding this little ticket with a barcode.
It says there's a little picture. I had a paper tag with a barcode on it. And there's a picture where there's a slot where that has the barcode picture on there. And I think I have to slip the ticket in there. Well, it's not taking the ticket.
Doesn't like you to do that.
And then there's a card reader for a credit card. And then there's one for your key. Where you put your key against, and that's it. There's no other way. It has to go in that slot, but it's not working.
So I found a button that said assistance. And I pressed the button. And suddenly and magically, the garage gate opened up. Now, I think what happened was when I hit that, they've got cameras watching it. They were probably busting a gut watching us because I was out of the car. He was hanging out of the car. We're all over this thing. There's a car behind us, and that puts pressure on you, right? Because they're probably going, oh, you stupid idiots. You don't know what the hell you're doing. Very right. You are. So the gate went up, I ran back in, got in the car, and out we went, and we're on the wrong side of the road, and there's cars trying to come in. So Walter very quickly got us over to the left-hand lane. And then from there, we took off here for Brisbane, but we didn't stop in Brisbane yet. We went about an hour, is that north?
North, yeah.
North of Brisbane to go to the Australia Zoo. Now, one of our subscribers who comes from this end of the world, she basically said we would be very disappointed in the zoo. We were not.
Well, actually, this would have been this is the second time we've been to the zoo.
Yeah.
We went to the zoo in 2019 as well.
Yeah. Now, I haven't been to a lot of zoos, but I've been to a few zoos around the world as well. And I think this is a pretty decent zoo. And the reason I say that is because it's fairly big. Are there a lot of animal varieties to see like in some zoos? No, because they focus primarily on Australian animals, which is fine. That's
They
what
have
I
a
want
lot
to
of
see.
crocodiles too.
Yeah, they have a lot of
And then
crocodiles
they
and
have
turtles.
an African section too. So.
They have elephants, rhinos, and tigers, and no bears. Yeah, but I was most interested in seeing the kangaroos, and I did.
I'm mostly interested in seeing Australian
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah, I think there was one section we didn't see them though. They had otters. Well,
Yeah, well,
we can see
should-
otters anytime we want to because otters are pretty much native to Canada. They are cute though. They're fluffy. They're also fluffy. But yeah, we spent a good part of the day there at the zoo. Now, it's very
Now,
clean.
mind you, when we were driving through Brisbane, I made a wrong turn.
Well, okay. I would like to take the opportunity to go. He's an idiot, but no, it was very confusing. Even the GPS was giving us mixed signals.
Yeah, I know. A couple of times the GPS came in and gave us weird signals to
Yeah.
turn somewhere in the middle of the highway, and
When there was no place to
when
turn.
there's no place to turn.
Yeah.
And one of the problems is we went through this great big huge tunnel in the middle of Brisbane, and you lose your signal through the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then we emerged the other side of the tunnel, and I don't know which way to go.
And
you're presented with a couple of options.
and you had to make a decision immediately. Meanwhile, the GPS is going, well, geez, I have to work again. I not finished my coffee break.
Yeah, so whatever I selected, I was wrong.
Well, yeah, but we managed. Okay.
But it rerouted us, and I ended up having to drive through some downtown streets.
We
and
saw
stuff.
parts of Brisbane that we didn't know.
But
existed.
so it took us a little longer to get to the Australian
Yeah.
Zoo than we anticipated.
But it was
but
okay.
It was okay. We got there.
We got there. Now, if you ever go to the Australian Zoo, the one thing you're going to, don't let it put you off, when you get to the Australian Zoo, you'll probably find a parking lot that says full on it because it's a very busy, popular place. However, they have another parking lot which is just as big as not bigger, and it points. The sign points to it. You won't have any problem getting a parking spot. I have hiccups. We just had dinner. But, so we did. And also, yeah, it's going to look like there's massive numbers of people there. But this place is so big, the grounds of it and the way they're spread out, you don't really have to worry about that. You really aren't clustered in with a whole lot of people. So that's a good thing. So, yeah, we made a beeline to see the kangaroos. The kangaroos are just in a great, big, huge field with a stream runs through it.
And actually, there's two I think there's two.
Yeah, the
different
red
areas,
kangaroos in one area, and then I guess the regular kangaroos in another. I don't know. Maybe red kangaroos don't get along with the other kangaroos. I have heard that red kangaroos can be very vicious. Anyways, you go in there. They're laying on the grass. They're sunning themselves. They're sleeping. You walk right up to them. You can scritch them behind the ear. Give them a little pet. They don't care. They don't care. They just lay there and whatnot, and you'll see that in the video. Now, did I feed them? No, and here is why. Apparently you could, but this is something that's really stupid, I think. When you go to the kangaroo compound, it is a ways from the main gates. Like, it's not just like a little couple of steps. It's a bit of a hoof, okay? There's a sign that says, yeah, you can feed them. You can get feed for them at the entrance. The entrance is like 3 million miles away from you.
Yeah, and if I remember right, I forgot about that when we went in there. That's the way it worked last time, and we had the same problem.
So we didn't bother, and a lot of people I think felt the same way.
Well, actually, we saw a couple that had a bag of food, and the kangaroos were indifferent to it.
They're too well fed.
Yeah, they're too well fed.
They're well looked after. You can tell the look on them, the whole bit. They're just laying there going, I am so pampered. You should be me.
But Steve was able to pat one. So.
Yeah, I did. Well,
Steve offered me to pat one, but I don't know. I was...
What, you don't like kangaroos?
I know I don't like that. I just don't. Actually, when you're feeding them, you get slobbery.
Well, they do get a little bit slobbery. Yeah. Later. No, you don't. But anyways, yeah, I got to see them. Now, it doesn't mean I won't get a chance to feed kangaroos later. There's other places yet on this trip that we can probably get to at some point in time, and maybe I'll be able to do the feeding. If I don't feed them, I touch them. So really, that's more important than anything else, because you want to feel how fluffy they are, and they are fluffy. Of course, you saw your usual koalas, and we saw quokkas. They have quokkas in the zoo. Now, that's new, because quokkas only live on Rottnest Island in around the Perth area, which is on the other side of the continent.
Yeah. So if this is, if Brisbane is New York, Perth is California. And because Australia is the size of the U.S.
Yeah.
So.
So they just recently, I read something about it. I wasn't sure if it was the Australian Zoo, what I read some time ago, but apparently it is. The only thing about quokkas in a zoo, okay, you miss the charm of the quokkas.
Yeah.
When you're on Rottnest Island, they're there roaming free.
Yeah, and you can get selfies with them.
And they come up and they'll smile and the whole bit you've heard me talk about before. We saw 2 quokkas. There was a gamekeeper or zookeeper in with them, feeding them. She was giving little pets on the head and everything like that. But there's a great big huge rock wall between you and the quokkas. And you're really not supposed to touch the quokkas anyways in their natural habitat. But it's not the same as seeing them on Rottnest Island. Nowhere near the same.
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd never ever experienced a quokka, you probably look and go, "Oh, they're a cute little groundhog, aren't they?" And move on with it. So there you go. And yeah, we spent a fair amount of time there. Now we did go up into the cafeteria, or the cafe as they call it, which is huge, to get something to eat. Well, of course, we always pick bad timing. It's lunch. Everybody and their dog and child were there. It was lined up. So we decided, well, we'll walk around and go see the dingoes and the Tasmanian devils. Didn't get a really good shot of the Tasmanian devils because they're nocturnal animals too, and they were all sleeping, and they were sleeping in a very dark cave-like zoo thing. So you really didn't get the full appreciation of them. The dingoes look like dogs, basically, or coyotes. Cross between a coyote and a dog. And there was about 3 of the zookeepers in the compound with them, and these dogs were just like any dog. They were just laying in the sun, and these ladies were talking to each other and stroking them behind the ear and giving them little pats on the head, and these dogs were just laying there, dingoes, loving it.
And then in the wombat area, the wombat was sleeping, and you could barely see him. So
yeah, you didn't really see the wombat. They look like a really big fat groundhog.
And then we went to see the red pandas.
Mm-hmm.
But the red panda was way up in a tree. And you really couldn't see him.
He was well camouflaged, and he wasn't coming down. He wasn't moving. He was sleeping. I tried to take some pictures for Stephanie of the red panda, but no, it didn't happen. Just couldn't get them with that. So, yeah, so it was a nice day at the zoo. They did put on a big show. They have a big stadium there. They call it the Crocatorium, or Crocism? Like museum.
That's Crocatorium.
I don't think it was Crocatorium.
Okay,
I think it was with museum in it, but a Crocism or something, whatever. Anyways, they put on this show. We had seen the show before. The show this time sucked.
Yeah, I mean, the show we saw in 2019 was quite elaborate, and this was a cut down version of it.
Yeah, I mean, basically they have some birds that fly around. One bird, they have a guy hold up a $5 bill from the audience, and the bird will come and light on his arm, and then pluck the $5 bill and go back out and give it to the zookeeper. I guess that's supposed to be funny. Actually, he didn't cooperate. He didn't want the damn $5 bill. He came out, he sat on the guy's arm. There was another trainer in behind the guy, so giving hand signals to the bird. So the bird really didn't care about the human being he was sitting on. He was going for the trainer because the trainer has treats. And yeah, I'm glad we'd seen it one time before, because it was pretty lame.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as the previous time. Yeah. Plus the previous time they had really engaged the audience.
Yeah.
And they were trying to engage the audience this time.
It wasn't working.
But it was, but they didn't really have the. It didn't flow smoothly.
It didn't flow smoothly. There were some problems. I think some of the animals. Well, they only showed birds and a crocodile, a huge crocodile. Crocodile was not cooperating.
Yeah, and the last time we saw this show, they had several different shows of different crocodiles and stuff like that. So
yeah, and they're showing how they feed them a dead chicken and some fish and stuff, and then they talk about how you don't want to be in the water with a crocodile because that's his domain and he's very fast in the water as opposed to on land. This crocodile crawled out of the water.
Actually, they were having a hard time getting back in.
Yeah, he really didn't want to do it today.
No.
It wasn't his day for it. So I guess that's what you get when you work with children and animals,
So anyway, I mean that was okay, but I wasn't there really for the show. I was really there for seeing the animals and stuff like that.
So, but anyways, we did have lunch there.
That person that commented, "Oh, don't bother going to the Australian Zoo. There were lots of other zoos that you could go to." However, they didn't recommend
any other kind of zoos. Actually, we're finding this a lot on these videos. People are willing to give us recommendations or are telling us what not to do, but you don't really give an alternative. You might want to think about that. Okay?
Yeah.
So anyways, we'll do our own thing anyways. Thanks for the suggestions.
Yeah, I know, but we went to the Australian Zoo. We were happy we went.
Yeah, we don't regret it. So then we had to get back here to Brisbane and get into our hotel. Ooh, traffic. Yeah, it was about a little after 3 in the afternoon at that point. And of course, rush hour, I guess. And we're not sure where the GPS is really taking us.
Yeah, there was one point in when we got out of one of the tunnels. It suddenly decided it was going to tell us to turn right somewhere, but we were on a freeway.
And there was no right to be had.
And all of a sudden it corrected itself.
Yeah. But we got here safe and sound. And then Walter had to park the car in the underground garage. Oh, if my hair wasn't already white, it would be.
Not only that, I had about 3 cars behind me.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get around corners, and I couldn't get around corners, and I was afraid I was going to hit the car.
Yeah. But
I
after
eventually got it parked, and thankfully my Vanna was helping me park.
Yeah, after a lot of screaming.
Yeah, there was some tense moments.
Oh, some very tense moments. But anyways, it's parked. But that seems to be the routine these days when it comes to parking the car. It's always a drama. So yeah. But anyways, we're here.
Well,
we got in.
Part of the problem is, I don't know. Part of the problem too is that I'm driving a car I didn't really want to drive.
Yep.
I got when I got here, I put down that I wanted an intermediate car. I wanted a Toyota Corolla hatchback, and they gave me a small SUV instead. And I drive a small SUV at home, but I'm used to driving it. So, but this one, I find although I'm okay driving on the left-hand side, because I'm sitting on the right-hand side of the car, I have a hard time judging.
It's a piece of shit. It's a Renault. It's a French-built car. It is poo-poo. Poo-poo.
Yeah, well,
I don't know how you even are supposed to get in the damn car. I can't get in the damn car without hitting my head on the edge. I'm not a tall person, okay?
Yeah, well, I have a hard time getting in because my leg won't get underneath the steering wheel.
It is the most uncomfortable.
And it is uncomfortable to sit in.
And our air conditioning.
In it for any length of time, you get a sore bum.
And we think the air conditioning is going in it.
Yeah, because today it was 29. It was very hot. And it couldn't keep up.
It couldn't keep up.
And I don't think it's getting cold enough.
No, it's a piece of shit. Quite frankly, it's just a piece of shit. But anyways, it'll do. It has to do. So we have no alternative.
Well, the other alternative is to go back to Avis and try and get them to give me a different one. And then...
you have to learn how to manipulate that one all over
again.
again.
I have to manipulate that one all over again. And then I have to wait for them to give me a new one.
You know, people, we are not complainers. I know the few of you in there say, oh, yes, you are. No, we're not. But on this trip, I mean, these are minor things. Like, guess what? My credit card didn't work today. I think my credit card works every other day for some reason. I don't know. That I just to
It
this
started
point,
working again, and then
it's
all of
working
a
fine
sudden it
yesterday.
stopped.
All day yesterday at work. No, today, no. But I have a theory. Walter doesn't think it's a good one. I have a theory that it's tied up with when they process transactions, a daily limit, and the fact that we're someplace 14 hours ahead of the credit card company. Walter says that shouldn't make any difference, and he's right. It should not make any difference. But it is a PC MasterCard. Don't get one. If you're Canadian, no, don't get one. And I don't want to hear you tell me, I have never had one moment of problems with it.
If you do get one, don't rely on it.
Yeah, don't rely on it. Anyways, luckily, as I said before, we have other means. So yeah, it's an annoyance. But anyway, so that was there today. Now, I don't want you to think that we didn't have a nice day. We did. These are little things that happen. They only last a couple of minutes, and then they're over with, right? So we get here. I'm not done complaining. We get here to the hotel. We check in. We get up to our room, and yeah, and there's video of it all, so you'll see that. I'm looking at the room or in the bedroom, and I realize, like, first of all, I'm looking for USBs. Okay,
It's a one-bedroom suite, so we have a living room and a bedroom.
Yeah. So we're staying in the living room right now. And we think it's an adjoining room because there's a door behind us that you can't open. So I'm sure it's adjoining. Anyways, in the other room, the first room they assigned us to, I'm getting things sort of semi-unpacked, and I'm looking for USB, or I have to hotwire everything to use my computer devices. There is not a USB plug in the Meriton hotels at all. In any of them. None. It's like, hello, it's the 1990s, early 1990s. We're in the 21st century. Okay, fine. I've jerry-rigged. I have enough electronics with me to blow the place up. So, if I knew how to make a bomb out of them. But anyways, so I'm in the bedroom looking. I said, Walter, come in here. Take a look. What's strange about this setup? He goes, I don't know. And I says, look at the night table. The room was a really weird shape, a lot of angles. The bed was sort of on an angle because there was no way you could have put it straight because there wasn't a straight wall. So on one side of the bed,
there's this little tiny
nightstand.
It's a little tiny square thing,
yeah.
Right? And it's tucked into the left-hand side of the bed.
It's not tucked. It's wedged between the bed and the wall.
Well, no. I'm talking about the one on the left-hand side was wedged up, was against where it would normally be.
Yeah.
Right, in thing. The one on the right-hand side of the bed, when you're facing it, right, was halfway up the bed, and it was sort of wedged in.
Not sort of. It was wedged to the point where it's pushing into the mattress and the sheets. In other words, you could not. It had a light on it, and it had a little alarm clock, and both were plugged into the wall 3 feet away. Okay? The table physically could not go up against that wall. There was no way. It was a pie shape, like going like this. So it's halfway up. And there is no way without unplugging the light, unplugging the clock, taking the table out so you could pull the sheets down on the bed. But then you couldn't use the lamp and the clock. So then, okay, it's Walter's side of the bed. I would have had to push the table before I got into bed, back in there, wedged it in against the bed, and tried to plug in. It was asinine.
And not only that, the closet was on the opposite side of the bed, and it was sticking out of the wall. And there was a little cubby hole where the window was, and they had stuck a TV set in there.
Which was completely out of your view if you were in the bed. Now, it was on a rack that you could sort of pull out an angle, but not like, in order to be able to see it, you would have had to pull it right out from the wall about 6 feet and be able to shove it over another 6 feet. Like that. Stupid. I said to Walter, oh no. No. We're paying too much for this room. We're here 5 nights in the whole bed. No, I'm complaining. So I went down and I said I took a picture of the table wedged, okay? And I will put it in here today so you can see what we're talking about. So I went down to the desk and I said to the guy, okay, I have a little problem with the room. Do you see anything wrong with this picture? The guy's looking, he says, that's the night table. Look where it's located. He's still looking at it, trying to figure out what I'm talking about, right? And I said, and I explained to him what I just explained to everybody here. He went, okay. He says, I can get you into a different room. I said, that would be nice. Thank you very much. So he does his little magic on the computer, and he brings us up to the room we're in now. And actually, we went up to the other room so he could look at it. And he said, yeah, okay. He says, so he took us down to this room, and he said, okay, well, you can take your time moving your stuff out of that room up there and move it in here, and then just drop off the key downstairs. And he said, okay. And I said to him, you know, USBs, this hotel, any of your hotels in this line don't have USBs. He says, yeah, I know. And I said, kind of impossible to plug things in. He says, yeah. I says, you might want to bring that up with management sometime. I mean, why not they bring these hotel rooms out into the 21st century? And I mean, they've done some refurbishing in these rooms by the looks of the cheap furniture, but whatever. But, you know, really, I said to him, well, you know, I said, people bring electronics with them. We all have cell phones. We all have iPads, laptops. You know, it is the 21st century kind of a thing. But I said, anyways, I'm sort of jerry-rig up my own system here with that, but would be more convenient with modern technology. But anyways, I said, I know it's not your fault. I said to him, you know, it's not, none of this is your fault. You're not the person who designs these rooms. You're not the person who does it. And I said, I appreciate what you were doing for us. And I thanked him for that and everything, because it's not his fault. So anyways, though, just before we got into this room, when he took us in here and asked us, is this okay? And we said, oh yeah, this is better. I says, oh yeah, night tables are where they're supposed to be. And we can get into bed. That's a plus. Anyways, we have this huge dining room table in here too. You'll see a video of that. But then he opened up, he says, he says something about, I forget what he said. He didn't really.
I'll just open up the window.
I'll just open, he says, there's a bit of a smell. I'll just open up the windows. Okay, at the time, I wasn't thinking about, we're breathing it in right now. It is a very heavy chemical smell. I think that they may have cleaned the carpet recently in here, possibly the furniture as well, because we found out later that we'd gone out for dinner. You'll see video of that, and we came back just before we started making this, and I stopped at the desk. I said to Walter, you know, we're paying a lot of money for this, and this is a heavy chemical smell, and I don't know what it's going to be like later on. So I said to the guy at the desk, I said, okay, I don't know whether you fumigated or cleaned the carpets or something recently, but there's a really heavy chemical smell in the room. The other guy that took us up to this room, I said, because the other guy was at the counter when we came down and said, okay, here, this table, not, you know, can't get into bed kind of a thing. So he knew what we were talking about. And I said that he kind of opened up all the windows when he first showed us the room in that. And the guy says, yeah, that is what they call a conference room. And it probably was, there was probably some cleaning done last time in that. And I says, okay, well, here's the story. I'm really tired. And I said, I don't want to be moving my stuff around to another room at this point tonight. But I said, if I can't live with this smell, if we find this too overpowering as the night goes on, then tomorrow I will be down here and we'll have to look into it. Something else needs to be done. And I said, he says, oh yes, for sure, sir, not a problem. Yeah, right answer. I said, in fact, he says, yeah, management will be in here. The manager will be here tomorrow too. So I said, so is there a way you can on your computer system make a note of what I've just told you and that, so it won't be a surprise to whoever, if I do have to talk to somebody tomorrow? And he said, oh yes, I certainly can do that. We'll do that. And I said, okay, thank you very much for the help. But I could smell it. And it's
becoming less noticeable for me. But
I think it's because we're getting used to it now, but that's not the point.
No, I know.
I mean, we're breathing chemicals
Mhm.
in here. So I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I know. I'm bitching, aren't I? Yeah, you think. Okay, so we talked to Philippa, well, texted her, and we're meeting up with her on Friday. And she's got a day planned. Sounds exciting and great. And if we can keep our eyes open for another hour and a half, then we may join into Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen this week, because it'll be about 10 o'clock our time here when they get started at 9 o'clock in the morning there. So we may pop in and say hello, no guarantees on that. And yeah, so tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow?
I think we're just walking around and going through a few museums and
Yeah,
stuff.
stuff like that.
I don't want to drive the car today.
No, I need, my nerves need to settle too. So anyways, okay. So enjoy our clips from today's adventure. See you later.
Sunrise in the Gold Coast. And we're on the road again, and we're leaving Gold Coast and now heading up to the Sunshine Coast, and then beyond that to Brisbane and the Australia Zoo. We have a little bit of a drive for all of that. It's about, to Australia Zoo, it's about 147 kilometers right now, which isn't too bad. And then it's actually beyond Brisbane, but after we've done the zoo and that, then we'll head back to Brisbane. Now, we don't know what we're going to hit for traffic, because we have to go right through Brisbane. There is no way to get around not going through Brisbane to bypass it to get to the Australian Zoo, unless you want to go into the outback, pretty much, from it. So, yeah, we could hit a lot of traffic. Maybe we'll be lucky and maybe we won't. By the time we get there, maybe we'll be past the rush hour. I don't know what the definition is of a rush hour here in Australia as compared to our area at home. I hope it's not as bad as what we went through when we were picked up at the airport by the taxi. That was sheer hell. Luckily, we weren't actually having to do the driving at that point in time.
Actually, I didn't think it was that bad. It was just that one spot where we got stopped.
Well, yeah, but it was tricky if you didn't know where you were going.
Yeah.
Because of the construction.
I mean, it would have been
parts.
hard if you didn't know, if you were a new driver here, to try and figure out which lane to get into, and you'd have to squeeze your way in.
Yeah. So it was just as well that there was somebody else who was more in the know doing that kind of driving. So yeah, we seem to struggle with parking garages and hotel rooms, getting in and getting out. This morning it took two of us to figure out how to get the gate up, because instructions are not very clear. They have several little boxes. One's for taking a credit card, one's for your key return, one is supposed to work with the little validated ticket they gave us at the front desk. Nothing seemed to work, but I pushed a button that said assistance, and the gate went up. So I don't know if they were watching through their camera and could see, like, oh yeah, look, Canadians, aren't they really bright? We could toy with them. But the gate went up.
And there wasn't even a button where you could push to say help.
Yeah, there was. That's the button I pushed.
Oh, did you?
It said assistance.
Oh.
Yeah. That's, how do you think we got out?
Oh, okay.
I think they saw us through their camera up at the top when I pushed that button, and they raised the gate from there. I think that's how it worked. They probably went, foreigners. Yeah, whatever. So, just had a text message from Philippa, who's in Brisbane, of course. You know Philippa, those of you that are regulars on the channel. And we are meeting up with her in a couple of days on Friday, so that'll be nice to see Philippa. And, you know.
Might be raining that day.
Okay, Walter is just a ray of sunshine on everything.
you know, it might rain that day. No, it will not rain that day. It is not allowed to. Simple as that. Okay, that was semi-sheer hell as we were following the GPS, and it kind of took us through parts of Brisbane we've never seen before, but then again, we haven't seen a lot of Brisbane out in the burbs.
Well, I think we took a wrong turn. What happened was we were in the tunnel, and the GPS stopped working in the tunnel, so then we had to sort of make a selection. Where are we going when we get out of the tunnel?
And we think we made the
we
wrong.
chose wrong.
We chose wrong, but we're through it now and back on track, I hope. And here we go. Meanwhile, bloody air conditioning in this car does not seem to be doing a very good job. So I don't know what that's all about. Well, it's a French car. It's a Renault. It's poo-poo. Okay, so we're making our way from the parking lot to the Australian Zoo. And there's lots and lots of cars here, but I do remember the last time we came here, there were lots and lots of cars as well. But it's a big place. And there's lots of parking. Like this parking lot over here between in the bushes is full, but we're up in the back parking lot and there's lots of spots there. But they're still coming in a steady stream here as well. So entrance to this zoo is not particularly cheap. Online I read it's about $72 a person, but I don't think any zoos are cheap these days. I know in Toronto, we haven't been to the Toronto Zoo forever, and I think it's at least 60, it may be even more per person. So here we're at the Australian Zoo. There you can go and stand over there and have your picture taken with Steve Bloom.
And the kids this dude up here as well.
Okay, first off we have the tortoise. We are making our way to the kangaroos, but that's a ways away. There's a great big turtles behind right there. Danger, loose rocks. There's lots of live shows that happen throughout the day. Right now I think there's something with tigers going on, and the big show in their Crocoseum, as they call it. We saw that the last time we were here. They have like these big birds that swoop all over the place, and of course the big attraction is this huge crocodile who comes in and eats everybody. So people are enticed to throw their small children into the jaws of death, which is something I don't like to miss. You know how I enjoy things like that. But the most thing I want to see is the kangaroos, because we all know kangaroos, they're so fluffy. That's the Crocoseum, which I think is down in here. Koala nursery. And there's the little gaffer up here having a little lunch. There's a couple more hanging over in that tree. Just doing what they do. Look at that face. And there's a small crocodile laying there underneath the surface of the water. Castrate out. He'll eat your face. sure. They look sweet and innocent right at the moment. But they will eat your face. There he is back in there. He's not moving. He's just laying there. This must be the rare headless snakes.
I can see his head.
That's his head going across that way.
Yeah, I know, I read it.
How they going to get that?
Poisonous. Yeah, I know. Dark frog.
Actually, it's in Mexico.
Yeah. It's the Gila monster.
White-lipped tree frog.
White tipped.
There's white-lipped tree
Oh, white
frog.
lipped.
And there's a Boyd's forest dragon. That's a Boyd's forest dragon on that thing.
Where on the that's
Yeah,
the
it's a
dragon.
forest dragon. I don't know where the frog is.
Doing what frogs do, hiding.
There's one here. No, I counted them. It used to be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When was there one back there? That one has 5 there. 2. Oh, look at that one. Yeah, I know. I've seen that the whole time. Ah, it's actually fun. Don't push it down.
To beat a dragon?
Okay, there's a wombat having a little sleep. Ain't he cute? Look at the face. Look at the face. So cute. Grace's Bird Garden. Tigers this way. And Africa. I didn't realize we were so close to Africa. So in those trees there are birds. There's something moving.
Very weird.
I want to go to the park. Mom? Mom?
Wow, look at the colours. Metallic.
Where? Oh. Oh, we're having a little fight. Yeah.
Straight pigeon.
A straight pigeon.
A Taurus straight pigeon. And look, there's one on the shelf here too.
Yeah, I see that. I got him. But first, this just looked like a pile of feathers, but it's not. It's a bunch of birds. Is that one guarding? Are they nesting?
I don't know.
Because that one's got its wing up, like it's like saying stay away to that other one over here. See, look at, they're both giving each other the wing. Says, go away, not
Yeah, it
welcome.
looks like they might be nesting.
I think they might be nesting. Just having a little rest. They're all over the place out here, but I haven't seen any food for feeding them, and we're thinking maybe you needed to get that at the front gate when you came in here. And if I remember correctly, I think that's what happened last time. And this is quite a piece away from the front gate. So I don't know if I'll be feeding any of these today, but I still get to see them. They're so cute. Is that a fly on it? Getting it?
Yeah.
They see you're so soft. So very fluffy, aren't you? Yes, you are. You gonna pet him?
Yeah, it's okay. There's been enough people to.
Yeah. No, he's just sleeping. He's not dead.
Look at the car.
I think it's one behind his window.
Look at the face.
They're nice.
That is so cute. So fluffy. They are so fluffy. Yes, you are. You're very fluffy, aren't you? These are huge, and they will kill a person if they're provoked.
Don't get near that kid.
No, I know. God. Little disease. Hey, emu. Here, you taste like chicken. Is that why there's chickens in here with you? Cassavary again. This one's a little bit more lively than the other one. He's hiding behind the bushes. Nope, there he comes.
Yeah, there's more.
That's a yellow-headed. A who? A Japrius?
A Jabrius.
Jabrius.
No, he's not. He's waiting for you to drop some food.
Drop me anything.
You start begging. Beg. Good begging. Alright, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna drop some. Right.
Lizard, lizard, lizard. I will eat small children.
Dad, can we try to touch it? Put it on your hands, got flat, and see if you eat it. No, that's a no, that's a no. We're fine. Chuck it to it.
We think that might be a wallaby. But we're not sure. He's cute. Very cute. Full of lice. Okay, in this area you got a whole bunch of roos just laying around. They're very docile. Well, they're well fed, they're well looked after. They don't mind people. They're used to them. I already pet one, but I don't think I'm going to get to feed one here. But that's okay. I'm not that concerned. But look at them. They're beautiful. They're so cute.
Ja.
There we go. Oh, Rebecca.
Okay, you guys remember I talked about seeing the quokkas on Rottnest Island? Well, here they are in captivity here. They are so cute. We'll try to get a better picture on the other side of them. And there it is. That is a quokka. You can't find anything cuter than a quokka. That's a big quokka too. Is that a little one? Oops. This isn't the best. They have a small water park here too. kids all in it. Those creatures we just saw were these. The Gaia? They look sort of in the face like a cat, but then maybe not. I don't know. Oh, just when you thought you were done looking at koalas,
There's another koala eating eucalyptus. And there's one passed out on the tree branch. Doing the other thing that koalas do, sleep. Eat, sleep.
and there's another one in a pose. I wonder how soundly they sleep. They don't. I wonder if they ever fall out of the trees. They're very cute. Tasmanian devils.
Yeah. Right up here, baby.
He's having a nap.
Having a nap in the corner.
I think it's the only one. It's the only one.
It's in the corner. Where everybody's looking.
Oh, there is another one.
They're in the very corner. You can barely see them.
Oh, is that? Oh, yeah. You can hardly see in this light. There he is. They have the cutest little face, and they'll rip yours off. He's not looking at me, so I can't get a good look at his face. But they have teeth that, oh, stretch, stretch. There he goes. And they look so harmless.
Here's what they look like. And don't they've got the cutest little face, and they'll eat you. Because take a look at this. Their enclosure. There's a rail here, and then this is all glass here because no, you don't touch the Tasmanian devil. Here's another skink. Right there. See him with the stripes? Peeking under the leaves. You dirty old skink.
I think it's a skink.
Is it skank or skink?
Skink. Oh, he's big.
Yep. Oh, something on his back?
Yeah, he's eating a bug.
Bug on your back? They don't have a long tongue? I thought they'd have a long tongue.
Obviously not long enough.
No. There's a lizard everywhere. Hey, lizard, 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 lizard. Big turtle. Tortoise.
Yeah, that's supposed to be that.
Poor tortoise.
Slide on those rocks.
I think these people pay for a private tour. You can do that here if you want. You can get up close and personal with some of the animals. Oh, it's too bad that turtle's eating lunch when it could have a child. Would you like a baby with your greens? And here's a big crocodile. I don't know if that's once Lucy or Weepa or something. So Weepa and Lucy were in here. Oh, he'd eat you. And there's the other one. Doesn't look quite as well. Maybe it is as big as the other one. I don't know. They both. I wouldn't want to meet them on a dark street. Put it that way. And here's one.
A saltwater crocodile.
So I assume there's salt water in there,
I assume so.
and all the green crap he can eat.
I have a feeling he doesn't like green crap.
No, he's sneaking up.
He's hoping for a child.
Small baby, please.
2-bite brownie.
So this is the cafe. It's really big. And about an hour ago it was a zoo in here. But now there's a show coming up in the stadium area that we saw the last time we were here. They've got some big birds that swoop down over you and do little tricks. And then the big climax of the show, I think, is this huge alligator, crocodile actually, that they kind of feed, and it comes out. And they make it like bite through things and, you know, scare the pants off you kind of a deal. But this gives you a kind of a higher level view of the kids area, the water park. There's a lolly store over there as well, I guess. And there's a big crocodile right here laying in the pool, not far from where all the children are playing. It's probably thinking to itself, tender victuals if I could only get out. Tiger Temple. Let's see if we see tigers. Lions and tigers and bears, I don't know. And this is where they live, but I think they're all sleeping. Nobody home in there. The elephants. Okay, so now we're on the way to Brisbane and to our hotel. We finished the Australian Zoo. Someone made a comment on one of our travel videos saying that they thought we would be disappointed in the zoo. They said it wasn't as good as it used to be when a few years ago or something, when the Irwin family had a more active role in it, I guess. I don't know. I didn't find it bad at all. It's a lot of walking because it's really spread out, but it's very, very clean. And okay, the show they put on in there, what they call a crocoseum, that was pretty lame. But we had seen it before the last time we were here, and it was a little better. So I think it also depends on how the animals are feeling that day to perform. The crocodile didn't seem to be really that interested in doing too much. He was a little tired. But you know, you can't control what the animals are really going to do. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. You get to see lots of things that are in Australia in one spot, and you even see a few things from other parts of the world, like the elephants and the tigers and rhinoceroses, and meerkats. Well, we didn't see the meerkats today, but we've seen meerkats before, you know. And they have quokkas. The quokkas, they did not have quokkas, I don't think, the last time we were there.
No.
Either
that or we didn't know what they were.
Yeah, that could have been. We didn't know what they were that time. But you've heard us.
We would have known what they were because that was after we went to
Perth.
Perth, yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't have them then. But I had heard, it must have been the Australian Zoo, that they were going to get some quokkas from Rottnest Island, which is the only place in Australia where the quokkas live. And maybe that, I didn't catch at the time when I heard that, where they said it was going to be the Australia Zoo or some other zoo. But anyways, we got them. They're so cute, as you could tell. in the video. So yeah, and I didn't feed a kangaroo. And if I remember correctly last time too, it's like once you're in the kangaroo area, well, they say you can feed them, but you have to buy back at the entrance the feed for them, a bag of it. There's no place there where you can buy it. And you don't see too many people feeding the kangaroos, probably because they don't want to walk all the way back to, that's why we didn't feed them. And quite frankly, those kangaroos look like they're very well fed. And we did see one or two people that did manage to have a bag of feed.
But the kangaroos didn't seem to want to eat.
No, the kangaroos just looked at them and went, yeah, no, I've had enough of that. But they were very docile, as you can see in the one video that Walter took of me petting the one kangaroo. You know, there may be another opportunity before we come back to North America to go to a kangaroo reserve or something and feed the kangaroos there, because they seem to be, I don't know, maybe they keep them hungry for some reason, because they seem to always be interested in food. And there were lots of lizards, not just behind barriers. There were lots of lizards that you could see just hopping about, and one little kid was feeding the lizards. I think the lizards were looking for handouts too. They were hanging around. But anyways, so I don't think it's an experience. If you come to Australia and you're near the Australian Zoo, I think you should go. Yeah, it's expensive, but all zoos are. It was like, I don't know what it was with our seniors discount.
It was about $60.
With the seniors discount?
Yeah.
Because online I saw it was like about $72, but that was a full adult fare. But I have noticed that sometimes what it says online and what it says when you get to the place are two different things. But anyways, yeah, it's expensive. But
you know, the one that we were looking at going to in the Gold Coast,
yeah,
it was around $60 to get in as well. So
well,
it doesn't matter it doesn't really matter which one we went to. It was still going to be expensive.
Well, the days of getting into a zoo for a quarter,
yeah, I know,
if those ever existed.
Well, I believe the Toronto Zoo is quite expensive to get into.
Oh, I think it's at least $60.
Yeah, and actually that place that we were going to go to in the Gold Coast, you had to pay extra for parking as well.
Oh, okay. Well, at this you don't, and they have lots and lots of parking for sure. So if you pull in there and you see a lot of cars, don't worry. There's another parking lot in behind where you can't really see it. You'll get a parking spot, and even with all those cars there, and the zoo is pretty packed, you don't really feel like you're sitting on top of everybody else until you run into Asians, but which come out of the woodwork. I never understand that. There isn't one in sight. I go start my approach to a kangaroo, and suddenly there's 4 of them petting it and doing selfies. They love selfies. I don't understand this. This may sound racist, but it's not. It's true. It happens on every trip I've ever been on.
That they need to have a picture taken with something to prove that they were there.
I guess no one believes them. Well, whatever. But yeah, but you're not really feeling like you're crawling over people or anything like that. So if you know, and I don't like crowds. Neither one of us like crowds, and it was no problem whatsoever. So overall, I thought it was worth the time and the effort and the money to go there. So let's talk about stupid rooms. You've heard of smart homes, smart rooms, smart devices. That is none of the things about this hotel room. Yes, when you first walk in, it's impressive, but this isn't the first one we walked into at the Meriton in Brisbane. Now, we stayed at the Meriton in Sydney, and we stayed at the Meriton in, where was the other place we stayed?
Broad Beach.
At Broad Beach, the Gold Coast. And they all have one thing in common. There isn't a USB connection in sight in any of those rooms. In fact, I just mentioned it to the clerk at the desk. They haven't got a bloody clue about travel things at all. You know, they obviously, the 2 guys working on the counter, didn't know anything about the fact that in North America, we run on 110 to 120. They run on 220 to 240 here in Australia. We do have a converter for that. We know about the plug sizes and whatever. But I said to him, you know, it's so much easier in the 21st century for people to come in here, like business people. They want to plug in their devices. They need USB ports.
They still have an Ethernet port.
Oh yeah, they still have an Ethernet port. Hello, the 90s called. They want the whole room back. However, this is, like I said, is not the first room we checked into here today. We checked into a similar room. Didn't have as big a dining room table as you can see in here, and we have basically 2 bathrooms. We have a tub with a shower in it in this one and a sink, and then we have another one that has a sink, storage space, and a toilet. Okay, this is fine, this is good. You know, lots of storage space in this cabinetry that's here, as you can see. Okay, and that's good. That's one of my things about hotel rooms that I watch for. I like to have storage space. It does have a kitchen, a full kitchen, stove, gas stove, although one burner looks like I would be suspicious about using it.
We don't have a dishwasher, do we?
Yes, we do, I think. Dishwasher. Is it hidden in here? Yes, there it is. It's built into the cabinetry. Okay, but I don't use gas stoves, but I think that's not right. Maybe it just sits somehow. I don't know. We'll see. Oven, like we won't probably be using those in here. So, but Walter's coming over to inspect. See the burner? I think it just sits on something, but or is it broken? I think it's broken. I think we'll have to tell them about that. That's a hazard. So I don't know. We do have a microwave, sink, dishwasher, you saw, full-size fridge, and of course we do have a washer and dryer as well, and laundry set iron board, but we specifically
It's on there now.
chose this room for it. Oh, Walter fixed it. He's a gas mechanic. Are you really going to try and light it now? Okay, I really don't want to go up and smoke. Okay. Okay, one works. Are the other ones lit?
No, you got to do each one individually, right?
Yeah, I know. Well, this was the one that was given us, like, okay.
Yeah. I think it comes off when you clean it.
Okay, may you turn it off now? Okay, didn't blow us up. Kettle, coffee maker. Okay, let me tell you about this kind of coffee maker. This is the one they have in the other Meritons too. In the last Meriton, this was a piece of shit. What it did was it blew out coffee grounds, not coffee. Do you think I'm being picky? Am I being too picky? Okay, let me look around. Now, this is a huge room, living room and the whole bed, but we think because it might be adjoining, there's another door there and that goes into another room. I'm sure it's an adjoining room. However, when the guy brought us up to this room, and I'll explain in a minute why we got this room as opposed to the first room they assigned us to, he says, well, I'll just open all the windows. There is a strange smell in here. I'm not sure what that smell is. I'm not sure if they fumigate it, cleaned the upholstery, cleaned the carpet, maybe cleaned the carpet. I don't know. Carpet looks in pretty good shape, except for a mark over there. I don't know. Big TV set. Okay, that's fine. Bedroom. Okay. Let me turn on a light switch. Big bed. Nice windows. Big closet. Night table. Lights. Okay. No USBs, of course, so we have to do our makeshift thing that we do. But here's the kicker and why we're in this room. This was not our first room they assigned us. First room they assigned us was weird. It had pretty much the same things I've shown you here, except it was only one bathroom, okay? And the bedroom, it had these kind of tables, but on this side of the bed, and I will insert a picture here so you can see, this little table's rammed right up against a solid wall here and against the bed. Because the bed was on an angle, the room was on an angle, they couldn't push it right to the wall at the back. It was halfway up here, pressed right into the bed. You couldn't have gotten into the bed without unplugging the light, the clock, and pulling the table and everything out of your way. How does the maid service in this hotel make that bed? Do they have to unplug everything, pull the table out, make the bed, put it all back in. So I took a picture of it and I showed it to the clerk downstairs, and I said to him, I know it's not your fault. And I said, in some ways it's kind of funny, but right now I'm not in a funny mood. And he looked at it and went, oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. So he got us this room. So, yeah. My nerves are a little on edge because it was very tricky, although we did manage it without getting lost to get down to this hotel from when we left the Australian Zoo. Yes, there was yelling and screaming in the car. And then there's not a lot of yelling and screaming on the road. Most of it pertains to parking. When we get into a parking garage and Walter tries to get that asshole car that we have into a spot straight. I'm telling you, I would never buy a Renault if it was the last car on the face of Plum. Well, there's a reason for that, isn't there? I mean, are they designed by the French? Well, you know what I say about the French and car design? Poo-poo on that. Anyways, this is sort of a rant right now. I need a drink. We have to figure out what we're doing for dinner. I'm tired. I'm hot. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. The air conditioning in the car wasn't really doing any air conditioning as much. So I don't know if it was just, it was 29 today.
There was cold air coming out, but not as cold as it should be.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the air conditioner in that car's on its last legs too, which is something we'll have to tell the rental company about, because it's not our fault, it's theirs. In fact, I don't know, Walter, but maybe you need to phone the rental company and tell them, just so you know, we don't think the air conditioning is working in that car. So they don't try to come back on us as if we broke something. Okay.
Yeah, next thing you know, they'll want to switch cars with me, and then
then that'll be a problem then. Well, maybe best let lying dogs lie, I guess. Anyways, I need a drink. Okay, so we're going off to find some place to eat. We're in Brisbane, downtown, and this is the skyline of the city. It's a very nice, very modern looking city. And this is just going to dusk right now. And we're on the south bank. And down in there, there's all kinds of different places you can go to eat and things like that. That is if you live before the people on their bicycles, electric bikes, and everything else don't run over us. Some more of the cityscape a little further along this river walk. And this building, very unusual. I don't think it was here when we were here last. Very ultra-modern looking. Every major city since the millennium created an eye for their city. And Brisbane is no different. Last time we were here, we did go up on this, and you get a good view of the city from it. Don't think I took any video of it at night at that point in time. Well, I am now. Okay, so we're at some place called the Beer Garden. Walter's holding up his beer, which is, what did you get?
I got a Byron Bay Premium Lager.
Byron Bay Premium Lager, which is okay. And we're both having steak sandwiches. We're both tired, well, at least I'm really tired. And this was a bit of a hoof to get here. We had forgotten.
We didn't realize it was that far.
Well, we had forgotten because we have been here before. In fact, we have been to this particular bar, restaurant, when we were here before too. So it's very, very busy down here because all the eating places are right along here. And well, it's probably prime time on a Wednesday night. It's only 6:24, except it's dark out, which is kind of freaking me out because we were getting longer days, they're getting shorter days. I think it's Southern Hemisphere, right? But yeah, so we still have to do our daily broadcast. We'll do that later, and then, well, when you see this, it'll be pretty much at the end of what I have to show you today. So, see you later.